what degree should a clinician be involved in supply chain decisions and configuration within their department? They should be intimately involved, because ultimately you're impacting their day. When you look at studies that say that 20 to 30% of a clinician's day is spent managing supply chain related type activities, you can't help but say that's impacting patient care. Because if you're taking a third of their day away to do things on the supply chain side, that's a third of their day that they're not doing things with patients. So it's important that we understand how those clinicians are operating in whatever department it is that they're operating in. And then whatever we do in the supply chain side is done to minimize their impact on that. But we can't do that without them being involved and telling us this is how we do things, and working shoulder to shoulder with them. The other thing is the clinicians need to have confidence in the system. So they need to also believe in the data that's coming through. So now your system is up and running, but now you need to be able to surface that data to the clinicians so that they aren't hoarding, because they look at the data that you're using to determine how much of a product needs to be on a shelf, and they're concurring with that. If you can sit down with them and say, listen, you're going through this faster than we expected. Here's the report that's telling us that. But you're going through this slower than what was expected. So we want to make an adjustment to the amount of inventory that we're keeping in the facility based on these numbers that I'm showing you right now. Our experience is the clinicians love that. When you sit down with the head of nursing for whatever department you're working with, and you involve that individual to that level, and then you routinely report to them as to how the supply chain or how the inventory is functioning within their area so that they are part of that process. We've seen nursing satisfaction scores in our customers. We walk in the door and they're barely satisfied, 5–10% satisfied when you survey them. Walking out of the door and involving them in this process and involving them in the data and showing them how we're doing things, those nursing satisfaction levels go 85, 90, 95%. And impact to patients is greatly improved, because if I have a nursing staff that is not as burdened with their supply chain as they were before, their time is freed up and they're satisfied, they're not complaining about it, that all just goes right down to that patient care level, which is ultimately what we're after.